You believe you are drowning in a sea of competition, yet the truth is far more terrifying. You are drowning in the shallows of your own undisciplined mind. Most men and women spend their lives pleading with a silent universe for a reprieve from struggle, never realizing that the very bad luck they lament is the precise architecture they have built for themselves. Success is not a prize to be won, it is a frequency to be tuned into. If you find yourself defeated, tired, and surviving one day at a time, it is not because the world is cruel, but because you have allowed your mental sanctuary to become a public thoroughfare for every passing fear and doubt. We stand today in the shadow of digital skyscrapers, surrounded by an abundance of information that has ironically left the modern soul more impoverished than ever. If I were standing before you in this year of 2026, I would tell you that the battlefield has shifted from the physical factory to the silent corridors of your own subconscious. The principles of achievement have not changed, but the distractions have become more lethal. We live in an era of algorithmic slavery, where your attention is the currency of others. To break free, you must realize that a positive mental attitude is not a surface-level smile or a hollow mantra. It is a spiritual power, the only known antidote to the psychological entropy of our age. It is the ability to see through the fog of 21st century complexity and act with the precision of a master architect. Consider the titans of history: Carnegie, Ford, Edison. These men did not build empires because the winds of fate were at their backs. They built them because they possessed an indestructible mindset that treated failure not as an endpoint, but as a laboratory. They did not fear the collapse of a venture. They invited the data that collapse provided. They understood that the mind does not remain neutral. Like a garden left untended, it will not simply stay empty, it will grow weeds. If you do not consciously plant the seeds of faith, purpose, and gratitude, the world will happily sow the thorns of resentment and self-pity in their place. This is the cosmic housekeeping that most are too lazy to perform. You must understand that your mental attitude is the only thing in the entire universe over which you have complete, unchallenged, and unchallengeable control. This truth will either set you free or it will offend your excuses. For what you dwell upon, you eventually live out. There is no middle ground in the kingdom of the mind. You are either the master of your fate or a drifter in the devil's current. As you reflect on this gravity, I invite you to step beyond the noise of the masses. If you seek to master these laws of achievement and join a fellowship dedicated to the highest standards of human excellence, consider this your invitation to the inner circle of success at the Napoleon Hill philosophy. Here, we do not merely discuss success, we engineer it. The tragedy of the modern drifter is that they have no definiteness of purpose. Without a goal so burning and magnificent that failure trembles in its presence, you are merely a leaf in the wind. The drifter is always under the influence of outside forces, reacting to the headlines, the markets, and the opinions of the mediocre. But the man with a vision, a man who wakes up with fire in his belly, is a man who cannot be broken. This transformation requires you to understand the law of autosuggestion. Your subconscious mind is the soil, and your inner dialogue is the seed. Most people are silent assassins of their own dreams, whispering, "I can't," or "it's too hard," into the fertile ground of their spirits. Your success is always preceded by a conversation with yourself. If that conversation is one of weakness, your reality will reflect that decay. You must condition the mind like a muscle, ruthlessly and daily. You must speak power even when you feel pain, for the subconscious is not moved by fleeting feelings, but by repetition, backed by emotion. This leads us to the bridge between thought and reality, self-discipline. You cannot hold a high-frequency vibration if you are a slave to low-frequency habits. In an age of instant gratification, the man who can govern his appetites is a king among peasants. The greats did not rise on talent alone. They rose because they governed their time, their thoughts, and their associations. They understood that every adversity carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is the ultimate alchemy. When life hits you, you must not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is the gift hidden within this wreckage?" When you adopt this stance, you become dangerous to defeat. Life cannot break a man who grows stronger every time he is struck. You are never a victim of circumstance. You are only ever a victim of your response. Beware the mental infection of the masses. There will be those who mock your focus and call your vision unrealistic. They are the addicts of mediocrity, threatened by anyone who dares to rise while they have made peace with crawling. You must cut off these influences at the source. Environment is stronger than will. If you spend your time in the darkness of gossip and negativity, do not expect your mind to shine. Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you the limits of your future. You do not need permission to own your mind. You do not need a title to lead your spirit. You need only a decision, a sovereign declaration that from this moment forward, you no longer rent your attitude to circumstance. You own it. You lead it. You protect it. As we reach the summit of this realization, ask yourself, what is your chief definite aim? What is the one thing you crave so deeply that you are willing to be misunderstood and ridiculed to achieve it? Once you find it, anchor your mind to it like the North Star. Clarity commands the universe. The man who possesses both a clear purpose and a protected mental attitude is unstoppable. He may be delayed, but he will never be denied. This is the law. These principles worked for the giants of the industrial age, and they will work for you in this digital age if you have the courage to apply them. You were not created to be weak. You were made of the same substance that formed the galaxies. Stand tall. The world bends to the will of those who refuse to surrender their spirit. If you are ready to claim this inheritance and walk the path of the masters, join us in our inner circle of success at the Napoleon Hill philosophy. Your destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Make that choice now. Let your every thought and action declare to the world, I am unshakable, I am unstoppable, I am unbreakable. And so it is.